Hey guys, this is John Gibb with Fight Insight, and I finally have stuff up on the wall. So we're really coming up, boys. Let's get into it. So we're going to talk about Israel Adesanya versus Yoel Romero coming up on Saturday night. Super excited about this fight. I think it's going to be fucking killer. I'm a little nervous for my boy Izzy. I'm real nervous for my boy Izzy. So let's get started with Yoel. So Yoel is obviously a freak of nature. We all know that. He's probably the most gifted athlete to ever fight in the UFC. Guy's made of fucking steel. Um, let's get started with Yoel's defense because everybody talks about his offense. Everybody talks about his ability to get people out of there. But Yoel's probably his greatest strength in a way is his defense. You know, he's really hard to hurt, not only because he's durable, but because he's got good defense. He parry shots really well. He slip shots really well. He uses those big boulder shoulders to shoulder roll shots really well. And then on top of that, if you do hit Yoel, as everybody's telling us, as Whitaker, Machida, Rockhold, as they're all telling us, if you hit Yoel, it's like his body's hitting you back. You know, it hurts you to hit him. John McCarthy says that slapping Yoel's back is like slapping a tree. You know, when you slap your buddy's back, you can feel that energy transfer, but when you do it to Yoel, the energy just transfers right back at you. So, that's weird. I wonder how true that is. Everybody seems to be saying it. So those abilities, the fact that Yoel is so hard to hit and so hard to hurt, leads into his ability to lull people to sleep, because he's able to lull people to sleep and take rounds off and and just give up exchanges, is because the reason he's able to do that is because he's hard to hit. So he can just give away, X amount of time, and then boom, finally he just like explodes on you. I've always said that Yoel Romero is like a crocodile. He's like slow and lumbering, and if you didn't know how fast a crocodile would move, you'd be like, oh man, I could walk right in front of that thing. There's no way it could catch me. And then boom, he's just on you. It's like a jump scare out of a horror movie or something. He just erupts so violently, and he lulls everybody to sleep. I mean, even me, I know what he's capable of. I know he can get you out of there at any moment. But I'll watch Yoel Romero fight, and I'll think to myself, oh, he's done. He's got this ability to hypnotize people. He's got like 7 or 8 knockouts in the third round. So I'm really worried for Izzy as far as that is concerned. I mean, I would be worried for anybody. You put Yoel in there against Daniel Cormier or John Jones, and I wouldn't count him out. He can always get that violent finish on you. But that being said, Israel is the best kickboxer to ever compete in MMA. He's the most sophisticated striker I've ever seen go in there. I think his kickboxing style has translated a lot better into MMA than other kickboxers, and I think it has a lot to do with that hands down style. I think that style works really well for MMA. I think it's more important than blocking shots like Yoel does. More important than doing that is to just not be there, to just be out of the way. And I think that style goes well with like really slick strikers. And Izzy's about as slick a striker as they come. His strikes, he's very dynamic. He throws a lot of different stuff. He changes levels a lot. He's very creative. It's beautiful. It's like poetry in motion to watch this guy strike. But Izzy's the secret sauce to Izzy's striking style is his feints. Other fighters, they'll feint a little bit. They'll get you biting on 1 or 2 different feints. But Izzy, he'll get you biting on like 6, 7, 8 different feints. He uses the feints better than anyone in MMA. And feints used well can trap, trick, confuse, demoralize, and psychologically dominate an opponent. In shorter terms, feints used well are really good at creating paralysis by analysis. If I can get you thinking about what I'm going to do, you're not thinking about what you're going to do, and it's going to take you right out of that flow state. And Izzy's the king of the feint. So Yoel is really hard to hit, but if anybody is going to be able to set Yoel up to get hit, it's going to be Izzy. He has what it takes. Another thing that Izzy does really well, and it's another secret sauce in his striking game, is his stance switch. He uses his stance switch offensively and defensively. He has a really cool little thing he does where he'll throw a combination, and in the middle of the combination, he will switch to the opposite stance and finish in that stance and throw like a new combination in that stance, which if you're his opponent is really hard to keep track of and goes right into that confusing and making your opponent overthink what you're doing. Defensively, he uses the stance switch by, if you are throwing a lot of shots on Izzy, he is really good at ducking and dodging and get out of the way. And in the middle of that, he will switch stances, which changes the angle and it changes what attacks you have available. So it's this really tricky and deceptive way of really making your opponent rethink their offense. And yet again, it goes right into this confusing tactic. It's beautiful. It's really sophisticated, like high level stuff. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff I'm missing, but I'm not an expert. On top of that, Izzy, he is a master at managing the range. He's really good at knowing how far, if you can hit him and keeping you out there. He's got a really cool like little stiff arm he does to keep you out there. So if you try to press him, he'll just post out, and a lot like John Jones does actually. And so defensively, he's really slippery. He's really hard to hit. And I think Yoel is going to have a hard time hitting Izzy. That being said, Yoel, that eruption of violence that Yoel does, God, man, it could hit him and it could knock him out. I mean, it could knock out anybody. But be it that I just said all the Izzy's skills, I think Izzy has what it takes to tune Yoel up. As far as intangibles are concerned, I've got a few things I want to talk about. Everybody is scared of Yoel Romero, and everybody keeps talking about that. But one thing I don't hear people talking about is I think that Israel Adesanya is lightweight, one of the most intimidating guys out there right now. He's got this Anderson Silva like nonchalantness mixed with this Vanderlei Silva, where if you look into this guy's eyes, I mean, he's got that killer look, like he's looking into your soul. And I think he gets everybody shook before his fights. I don't know if he's going to get Romero shook, but because I'm not sure if you can, but Izzy scares people. Izzy scares people. They don't talk about it, but Izzy scares people. Momentum wise, that's kind of interesting because right now it's Israel's era, and I don't know if he won Fighter of the Year, but he probably should have. It's Israel's era, so he's got a lot of momentum going his way, but then on the same time, this is Romero, I think, is finally getting the respect he deserves, and it's his last opportunity to win the gold. So, I mean, we could see him just really going for gusto in this fight. So that's kind of interesting, too. Experience-wise, Romero is more experienced than Israel, and who knows if that's going to translate into Romero knowing how to do this MMA game just a little bit better than Israel. God, I hope not, but I mean, it could. Last but not least, fighting spirit. I'm interested in this because Israel, I think, has shown us that he has like a real heart of a lion. I think he showed that in that Kelvin Gastelum fight. I think he showed us that he is supremely confident, and he has that interesting ability that we see in John Jones, we saw it in Conor McGregor, but he's got that manifest destiny vibe where he feels like this was made to happen for him, and that gives him a kind of confidence that I think is unshakable and is a really big leg up, for him. And I think I don't know, that's an intangible that I think I really give to Izzy. That being said, my prediction for this fight is Israel Adesanya. I think Israel Adesanya slow cooks Romero. Hopefully he doesn't get put in trouble. I am a big fan, so, hopefully he doesn't get put in trouble. Hopefully he doesn't get caught and put out. But I think Israel is going to beat Yoel, and I think he's going to beat him more convincingly than we've seen anybody beat Yoel. I don't think he's going to give Yoel a piece of his soul in there. I think he's going to win. All right, that's it for me, guys. I will see you next time. Oh, yeah, like, comment, subscribe.